Welcome to another Dreamboat video. Today I'd like to show you a patch that I think is quite fun to play with, and you can get some great results out of it. We're going to start by taking any basic filter that has an input gain and a couple CV inputs. We're going to use the Bubblesound VSF. It's a great filter and it's perfect for this demonstration. And just to show you the setting we have, we're using a Bubblesound ULFO to provide a triangle output, which you can hear. That's going into a mixer. We've got the resonance turned up. We've got the gain cranked too, just to give us some distortion. But you could do this without cranking the gain. Now we've got two CV ins. One of them is coming from the Y output of the Dreamboat, and that's going into CV2. And as I turn it up, you can hear what it does to the sound. Now that's coming from the slow bottom section of the Dreamboat. Okay. Now what we're doing, that you need either two outputs on your filter or you need to use a multi-mode filter. I'm then taking, you can either use the notch filter output on this, or you could use the bandpass output or the high pass. You just got to set it differently for each. We're going to use the notch output for now. And that then feeds back into the Dreamboat, into the CV in. So think of it this way, we've got a feedback loop set up where we're putting CV into the filter, and we're taking audio out of the filter and putting it into the CV in of the Dreamboat. Now this is where the wide range CV control becomes important, because you want to set the CV coming back in just right to get the Dreamboat oscillating. Okay? Now you can hear what that's doing to our triangle wave. And as we change the cutoff, it's going to change what the Dreamboat does a bit. Now, to make things even more interesting, I'm going to feed the X output of the Dreamboat into the CV in of the top oscillator. Okay? Then I'm going to take an output from the top section and put it into the second CV in of the filter. And once we get this set, you'll hear that in action. There we go. Set the CV in pitch to taste so they start working. Okay, now we're going to take the gate output and we're going to feed that into an ADSR. Okay. And we're going to feed the output of the ADSR into a VCA. Okay, so that completes our patch. So let me just go through real quick how the patch is set up. We're taking an output from the top section into the filter. We're taking an output from the bottom section into the filter, both of those going into the CV inputs. We're taking an audio output from an LFO or a VCO at audio rates, putting that into the audio end of the filter. Then we're taking an audio out from the filter, putting that into the CV in of the bottom section. And we're taking an output from the bottom section and putting that into the CV in of the top section. Now, we now have two pitch controls to play with, two CV controls to play with, a threshold, and the level and CV controls on the filter. As you can imagine, you can get a lot of different possibilities. And this is really where the Dreamboat excels, is in creating complex patches where every element has an effect on each other. You could also trigger your ADSR from some other source. You could obviously feed the filter with a completely different source. You could also feed it with the sound of the chaos. We'll try that. That might get a bit crazy. And you really never know what you're going to get. Thank you for joining us for a Dreamboat demo with Snazzy FX.